Hello and welcome to the Non-Fungible Creator Show. This is your host, Non-Fungible TC, Non-Fungible Today and Non-Fungible Tomorrow. Today we are very honored to have Linda with us. She is the CEO of Pictta, a social NFT marketplace. She is also an advisor for several NFT projects on Solana and Ethereum blockchain. So Linda is a blockchain developer, and I think she very much could be well qualified to be called an NFT OG because she started coding her smart contracts for NFTs back in 2017. So due to the internet connection, she's going to be using her avatar with us today. So GN Linda, how are you?
Hey team, thanks for having me. GN everyone. Happy to be on the show and talk about my journey and everything NFT.
And yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. I know you have a very busy schedule and you just spend some time with us. So as I was doing my research on your background, I noticed that you started out as a historian with a bachelor's degree in history, and then you did a master's in globalization. So what brought you into Web 3.0? Can you share more about yourself?
Yeah, so I studied in the UK. So at the time when I was going to school, UK is a very cultural place, and then made me want to study more like literature, arts. So that's why I chose history for my university. And even though after I graduated, I haven't done anything, in terms of like history, but it's not something like I regretted doing that because I feel like history is a subject that changes how you think, right? So it's not about just like learning literature, that kind of thing. It's more about training you to be a very analytical, very kind of like, people with like the right side of mind. So that's what I learned from school. And I think that prepares me for doing literally just like anything, when I graduated. So I got into banking when I graduated. And even though I didn't have like a finance background, because like I started from the graduator post position, and literally, you have to do a lot of like on-job trainings that literally, it's not something you learn from school, but they interview you and they hire you based on, the way you think, the way you present yourself. So I got into like HSBC and later on Credit Suisse. And what made me want to go into technology is like when I started working at Credit Suisse, actually my position, like my job nature changed a little bit. Like I was more doing the project side, which is managing the technical implementation of the bank's trading platform. And that's where I, came to work with the developers in the bank, and also started to, look inside of like the coding and, just like learning more about like how, a technical project is, being developed. So that's like really helpful. And that made me determine that, wow, like, I want to be really focused on technology and also like actually learning some coding skills, just because without that I don't feel confidence. I don't feel I'm doing something that says this is the future. So I've chosen the path at that point that I want to do a proper course that give me a very solid understanding of computer science, and also actually, because I was doing some coding on my own, like I look it up Google, YouTube, and trying to learn some JavaScript while I was working in the bank, but that wasn't like, I feel like that wasn't like good enough. But that did get me to complete the task required at the job. But I want to be learning the latest technology. So I went to San Francisco after quitting my job at Credit Suisse, and then I did a boot camp. And that was like 2017, towards the end of 2017. And I think towards the end of the course, like blockchain was something already people are well aware of, but not like everybody's feel like that's like something they must learn, right? But few of us in the course feel like, okay, that's something we want to, experiment, wanna, just like get our hands on it and see how it works, right? Because it's kind of like nowadays people kind of understand what Bitcoin, Ethereum, or the cryptocurrency, but at that point of time, people are like, wow, like how this work? What's like the magic, right? As coder, I feel like it's very exciting that you get to actually see how the code works, rather than just like trading the currency or trading the assets. And yeah, so at that point of time, I started with, we have like a small project, just for fun. We did like a NFT Marketplace. Very, very simple one. It's not even like the Marketplace OpenSea house, but it's just like people are able to upload, certain images and some other people can come and buy it. It's not perfect, like, but it made me like kind of like understand, like NFT, because that was like the early version of NFT, like the assets that's been uploaded, like their attribute inside, and it's like very easy for beginner to like for beginner in a smart contract to understand how a smart contract works, because it's not like very financial. It's just like, okay, how do you tokenize the assets, right? The digital assets. So NFT for quite some time has been, in terms of like the developer world, it's nothing like really fancy, but it's something really like friendly to learn. And that's my impression the whole time until kind of like end of last year, when DeFi came in, when crypto market kind of started the boom run, and then NFT this year was like, wow, like we all know what happens. And yeah, still the technology is like pretty much the same, but it's like there's like more commercial use case of NFT that's being developed, that's being accepted by the mass market. And it's just, the business side of thing really kind of catch up with what like NFTs been designed for. Yeah.
Okay, that's indeed very interesting, because you started out to study history, and you said that the skills that you acquire with history allows you to see the world in a different perspective, and then you decide to go on a boot camp after working in banking, and to within one boot camp you were able to pick up the coding skills and to start kind of like, that was 2017, right? To have like a prototype NFT marketplace. Is that correct? Was that back in 2017?
Yeah, that was like late 2017.
Wow.
It was on testnet, like we didn't push it to mainnet, but now I think of it, it's actually like a very, very simple NFT marketplace.
Yeah. Okay, so is it easy to be a self-taught blockchain developer? Like, I know that's a lot of development in the blockchain ecosystem right now, and for people without coding or background or blockchain background, if they want to enter into this space, what advice would you give them? Because you entered from a banking background into a blockchain development background.
Yeah, I think if you have no coding experience, like first, blockchain isn't something that you learn first when you started coding. Obviously, I feel like all of us, no matter what kind of developer you are, there are like some basic coding basics you need to pick up and familiarize with before moving into like blockchain, because all the blockchain languages, they are, they're fairly new. Even some of them are more mature as time develop. For example, Ethereum, when the time I started is very difficult, just because there's not a lot of documentation, and meaning that if you are very new in coding, you may not get a clue of what went wrong in the code. If you're more experienced, there's higher chance you can pick up the blockchain side of their language and how it could work. So basically, it's like a very the entry to like the barrier to entry to blockchain development it's definitely higher than just like a normal full stack developer. So normally, like I think regarding NFT, there, I feel like more people are more focused on like the creative side of like
Yeah.
things. So it means, because like I said, NFT wasn't something like extremely complicated in terms of the code. Actually, a lot of service also out there providing you, like the things you need to do the NFT, right? But before, a lot of value in blockchain was like generated from the smart contract. The kind of like how you manipulate things within the smart contract that give you the edge in the market. But NFT is something that actually focus more on like the creative, like design or the marketing of the product. So depending what you want to do with blockchain, right? If you say you actually want to build something from the layer protocol, you want to just like really deep into like blockchain and like that kind of thing. I think it takes time. It takes like practice. It takes you to build a solid foundation as a full stack developer or back end developer. So, but yeah, if anyone has like wants to get into blockchain and kind of like okay feel like they face obstacle or issues, I'm happy to talk about like how you overcome that particularly
So
issue you're facing in terms of like
So thank you very much for your sharing. And I know that in the past year, you're working on a new project called Pictta. So can you tell us more about your project? So I have your website up here. I'm sharing it on the screen. So can you tell us more about Pictta? What is the story behind this project? And why did you choose this name? Does it have anything to do with picture?
Yeah, I think when we started, we did think of those as more something to tokenize the photo into some NFT, right? Digital assets. And we started those actually quite early on this year. So it's like maybe February or March. We already kind of know that we want to help people to turn their photos into NFT. So definitely the name has the picture, like it definitely means like something to do with pictures. So I have my other two partners who has been working in like social media industry. So the problem they face is like a lot of they use a lot of like Facebook, Instagram, but they feel like creators are not being compensated for their creations, right, on Facebook, Instagram, right. So they have been more like creators with their social media business in the past, and they feel like they're the victim of like the the giant tech company and their social media platform, and that's why they want to change about this. And what I was like suggesting was like, okay, so NFT is a way to help creators, artists, or just literally anyone who's creative to turn their creation into something that can be monetized, that someone can buy the copyrights or certain rights of your photos. And yeah, that's like a something that we was the creator, and I think that's something the creator economy has always looking to do. And it combines really well with like the NFT, how it opens up a primary market and also a secondary market for this photo, compared to like Patreon or Cameo, where there's like only primary market. Like NFT actually makes the photo resellable, right? The same photo.
Okay, so my understanding is that a creator could in the future. So your platform is not launched yet. Is that correct?
Yeah, we are still in like closed beta, so we only want to kind of like invite people who sign up early with us to try out our product at this stage.
So is it by any chance connected with existing social media network, or is it a different type of social media network powered by NFT?
Yeah, it's so the mobile app, what you can do is so first of all, it serves basically like an Instagram, but
Okay.
except that the photos you upload, it is automatically being minted, meaning that it's being turned into NFT.
Oh, okay.
So I think you can see on the create screen,
Yep.
when user create their NFTs, when they upload, right away it's like turned into NFT. So the photo is not just a JPEG, it's NFT on platform.
Okay.
But the user won't realize, they won't have to deal with the all the extra step they normally experience on, say, OpenSea, where they have to connect the wallet or pay extra gas fee for uploading their photo into NFT.
Oh, okay. So you do everything behind the scene for them. So I
Yes, yes,
yeah, I know that your platform is built on the Flow blockchain. Is that correct?
yes, that's correct.
Is there would you be open to share more about, like, when you developed the platform, how did your company started, and also why did you decide to use Flow blockchain and not other type of blockchain? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, so because when we started, it was quite early this year, and there were not a lot of options.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, there were Ethereum, but it was expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Not something suitable for our targeted user.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was also Binance Smart Chain,
Mm-hmm.
but the ecosystem didn't match with like the type of, because from what we want to be really NFT focused, but Binance Smart Chain is like more like DeFi, or more like on cryptocurrency trading.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't something that we foresee. We want our users NFT to be hosted on like Binance Smart Chain. So
Mm-hmm.
the other option, the third option, was Flow.
Mm-hmm.
So Flow, they were, the team behind Flow, they were called Dapis Lab.
Yeah.
So they are the people who founder CryptoKitties, and
Mm-hmm.
CryptoKitties is their first, collabable projects that developed the ERC 721 standard.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they invented NFT in a way on Ethereum.
Okay.
So Flow is very dedicated to only NFT.
Okay.
And also because end of last year they collaborate with NBA Top Shop to
Yep.
create their collectibles,
Mm-hmm.
and that creates a very good use case for why people should be putting their assets on their blockchain, and kind of like live in their ecosystem. For all
Oh.
these reasons, Flow seems like a really good choice for us to build our first blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, yeah, there are like many other choices. We at the same time we are also building on some other blockchain, but
Mm-hmm.
not for the mobile app.
Okay.
Because as time develop, there are more alternative like Solana,
Mm-hmm.
Tezos,
Yep.
Avalanche.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say Solana and Tezos are the other two that really, that apart from Ethereum, that they are the other two that will really like stand out and
Mm-hmm.
make like take NFT to a different stages.
Yeah.
But they are having a very different ecosystem at the moment. So it all depends what kind of NFT you're gonna create, and it will, they're having two different communities.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in the past, you were a developer, a blockchain developer, and now you set up as a CEO of your company, which is Pictta. What has changed in between? Is it now a more front-facing, more business aspect of the business?
Yeah. So now, yeah, I think definitely I developed less, even though knowing like having that knowledge. I think I'm more on like the project management side, and that, but my coding experience still help because like I need to communicate with my developers, my marketing person, and just like connect all the dots, and being in like having that technical background really helped me to be in the position of managing as the CEO, and try to work on different aspects of the project and work with bring everyone into the project. So right now, I think my role is definitely more on business side. At the same time, I'm also kind of like just like developing the whole project framework, including the choice of blockchain, including the choice of technology we use in the company. I think that's still mainly kind of like just sort of like coming from my suggestion, and then I push it to the team, and then we discuss. So yeah, I'm definitely in like a position, but not just like purely business development or marketing. It's also like project conception,
Strategic,
define
strategy.
everything for the project.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, as a CEO, you literally do everything, like including UI, UX, like
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, decide the website. Yeah, so that's basically as a CEO, you are trained to do everything.
Yeah, especially when it's a new and emerging business. I mean, a new technology. So the reason why I was able to meet you is that you were doing some social outreach for NFTs at Poly Auction, and I know that Pictta has been working
Yes.
with them closely. So I have the screen here. So you guys were the official NFT partner of Poly Auction, and the authorities debut NFT exhibition. So I've noticed that you do a lot of auction. Outreaches. You've been out there telling people, the general public, about NFTs, and also explaining to people about the technology. So within Hong Kong, what do you think of the general public? How do they think of NFTs right now? Do they accept it, or do they have concerns?
I think the reason why we were invited to all these partners, including Poly Option and some other brands, are because I think increasingly companies and brands and creators, they're not just like interested in NFT. They feel like they have to learn what's NFT. And but NFT is something most people just like read from the news, or maybe they buy a few NFT, but it's just like they still missing the connection with like what kind of technology is involved, what are the differences between all this NFT, what kind of NFT my company should do, and how do I explain NFT to my end customer. So eventually, because they are also business, they are also facing a group of user or end clients. So our role with all this partner has been not just like technical, but we also kind of trying to provide education. So what we did with Poly Option was like from the beginning, we actually have several meeting and also have a session in their company just to gather with their staff and run an NFT presentation to kind of explain NFT 101. It's like an internal training almost. So that's like the first thing. That's the internal education. And the external education is Poly Auction, they were selling NFT for the first time, but their customer were not the NFT buyer, like not like they never had that experience like most of their existing customers. So the barrier they have to overcome is not just selling the artwork, the story behind the artwork. It's like they need to make their client understand what's NFT, why they're doing those. And that's why we designed a wall for them. It's about like NFT 101. And then I think that's like where we also met. Just
absolutely.
in front of the the NFT.
Yeah, right in front of the wall about NFT 101. Yes. So yeah, thank you so.
Yes.
I really appreciate you for coming here because we just met once, and now I was like, oh, I have a new YouTube show. It's very new, it's very small, but do you mind coming up and share your story? So thank you so much for being here. uh,
No. We've been sharing,
mm-hmm,
so definitely, we feel like we want to continue doing that on different platform, not just like poly option.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's something we're always happy to do.
Yeah, thank you for.
Yeah, so on
Mhm,
this picture you can see,
yeah.
yeah, this is like one of the wall that's like being put out on the shopping mall.
Mm-hmm. That what entered the world of NFTs and different collectibles.
Yes. So I think actually it generate a lot of interest
Mm-hmm,
because first of all, people do feel like they, although they ask question, but it's
mm-hmm,
good that when you ask question, you actually get answers, and you get answers that make you understand
mm-hmm,
more about the things you're looking at, right?
mm-hmm.
So NFT is something at the stage of, not just like price discovery, it's also
Yeah,
like, it's like getting into the market and, making people realizing the potential there.
yeah. And I think the beautiful thing of NFT is that you could create a community, for a common topic, and you could share with other people, and then you could meet other people, like how I met you and invited you on this channel. So from what I heard, besides different outreaches, you have consultant services for other traditional companies as well. So in from a bigger or from a broader perspective, what is Pictta gonna do in the near future besides the mobile app? Are you working on other projects as well, or is there any way that our audiences could support what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so I mean, because we've been making a very public sort of like education,
Mm-hmm.
like war and materials for poly options. So
Mm-hmm.
it attracts a lot of like brands and company on inquiring,
Mm-hmm.
like how they should, engage NFT and or kind of NFT related,
Mm-hmm.
business. So that's why since like the last 1 or 2 months, we've been kind of like advising a lot of like locals, brands and companies on, NFT. Just like generally, what is the NFT that their brand
Mm-hmm.
can work with. So because of this reason, we actually we launching uh some side products, and I also want to share a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's quite relevant locally. So our side product will be on Solana blockchain,
Okay.
and it's gonna focus on launching the collections for creators. What it means is with Pictta, it's like a very quick and easy upload, your photos or your drawings one of one on a mobile app that can be shown to other users on your, right on your hand on your mobile.
Mm-hmm.
But in NFT world, a very demanded category of NFT
Mm-hmm.
is PFP, right? Profile pic.
Yeah.
It's like the one I'm using here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the most famous one everybody already know is like CryptoPunk.
Yeah.
But how many items CryptoPunk has in the collection? It's like 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think of it, actually, uh, they generate all this 10,000. First of all, not one by one.
Mm-hmm.
They generate from the code, from the script,
Yeah.
and then they also the way they upload the NFT, the 10,000 pieces to blockchain is also not through like a mobile app or OpenSea. So
Mm-hmm.
it's actually a custom smart contract development.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why actually when PFP collection are launching,
Mm-hmm.
100% of the time they need to find a developer to help them to do all this like generation and all the
Mm-hmm.
batch upload,
Yeah.
in a very simple way to describe it, to the blockchain. So actually it's like an additional cost, and it's a very, not a very straightforward way to launch those collections. So now we're focusing on helping brands and creators to launch this kind of collection that has a lot of like say over 1,000 pieces in the collection.
Mm-hmm.
And Solana is something similar to Flow. It's very fast and cheap. It's like a good alternative to Ethereum. And it has a really strong ecosystem, but they are mostly focusing on PFP collection and also game NFT. That whatever NFT, but it has to be like generative. So they don't have the kind of NFT that's like fine arts, that's like one of one, or like Bpost, that kind of NFT. And I think it's getting traction even. Just like a few days ago, I read that a local artist, Zhang Yingxing, he launches his collectibles. Yeah, I maybe it's like a 1,000 items NFT collections. I think he also launched on Solana. So it really speaks about what kind of collections that Solana is taking. It's flourishing, and that's actually not just like a crypto world of like crypto punk, that kind of collection. Even like a real world artist may consider launch something with a 10,000 pieces, and that the choice of the blockchain would be Solana at this moment, and that's where we are focusing on helping. And we already launched a collection, like for an artist on Solana just last week. So going forward, that's also something. And I think locally, brands, because we also got invited to speak at Tencent Academy, and because of our knowledge and background in NFT. So they're also looking to do something similar with the streaming platform they have in Hong Kong. They have artists and singers who will be very well suited for this kind of like NFT collections.
Yeah, indeed. That's very interesting because previously I came from a media background as well, and I see a lot of potential, like what you said, like artists, singers themselves could issue collectibles. So to kind of wrap up, I actually pulled out the NFT picture that you're using right now. Can you tell us more about the story behind it?
Yeah, sorry, do you mean like the story of the
Oh, the reason, so you brought this NFT, right? And it was you brought it in one of
no?
the outreaches, right?
Oh, yeah. So I mean, okay, I bought it because first of all, it was the kind of art I like, and also like is in terms of NFT, if you're coming from like an NFT role, there are certain elements that it really feels like the NFT people like. For example, the 4 letters on the girl's head, like WGMI, right? We gonna make it. Yeah, it's like a very kind of like blockchain or NFT slangs nowadays, like GM. It's like it's FOMO, it's like
Ape.
LFG,
Yeah,
LFG.
yeah.
So I really like this kind of like abbreviations. And also I bought a physical print, and I entered into a sort of like a lottery, and I won the NFT one of one NFT version as well. So lottery is
Congratulations.
also something very NFT
Yeah.
kind of marketing. So yeah, I definitely feel like this is the way I want to own this NFT. And in terms of the artist, I think because the theme of the poly option was, are you bored or not? So this is the board version, and he also created the not bored version. So this version, the girl definitely looks very like bored, or yeah. And this is the normal version. So the other version is like, so what I'm saying is the artist is trying to make a very clear distinction between the two kind of like emotions of the same character. So this one is like extremely unsure. Yeah, it's not sure whether she will make it. So that's like the idea.
Yeah, because if I look on Vogue's website, they did a story of the NFT poly auction as well, right? So they also have this NFT, which is the 1 out of 1. So congratulations, and this is the other one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. So I think that's pretty much our time here today. Thank you so much for being here with us. And is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience before we end the stream?
Yeah, I think a lot of like creators brands approach us for all kind of NFT needs, and I think we have a lot of tools here to support them. If you're looking to launch an NFT collection or integrate NFT with your business, I think yeah, feel free to reach out and see if there's anything I can help,
Yep, you're
even
very
just in terms of like giving advice. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Yeah, you're very helpful. Thank you so much. And all the links that we shared today will be at the description below. So if you like our content, if you want to reach out to Linda, feel free to contact her through maybe Twitter or even go to Pictta's website and subscribe, add your email, and try to get in touch with them. So that's it for today. We hope you all enjoy the show and live life non-fungibly. Thank you so much, Linda.
Thank you, team. Have a good evening, everyone.